This week on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Long ago.
Oh, so it was after Tom.
Oh, it's after Tom. It had happened more than once. Yeah, and then like the third time I was just like, this is not for me.
Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be recapping the new episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15, Episode 10. Let's get right into it. Okay, so this was a pretty good episode. So the episode starts with Dorit, Kyle, and Rachel, who are currently at the Hamptons. Rachel invited them. They've been having a great time. The house also has some of Rachel's friends and assistant, so they're getting ready for a new day. We then head back to California, and we head to Amanda's house. So her and her fiance, Eddie, are talking about the kids, and then he asks, how did her dinner party go? And Amanda says, well, they didn't even participate. I mean, everyone I know would be jumping if I was offering them a free journaling session. So they did not seem to appreciate it. She also says that she was hoping that this dinner was going to be like a fun opportunity for the ladies to get to know her, but she realizes now that they don't take her seriously. She also shares to her man that she can't believe that Sutton and Bose said that it's Amanda's fault that Dorit and Kyle are fighting. Which I do think that even if you don't like Amanda, you have to know that's crazy for them to put that on her. Like, come on, let's use our brains. Amanda's not the reason why Kyle and Dorit are fighting. Matter of fact, they're not fighting. They are getting along over there at the Hamptons right now. So Amanda also shares how, the conversation about Dorit was brought up again, about if she said something about Dorit's marriage, and Eddie says, well, I have gone through a breakup, and honestly, I didn't really want people to be giving their opinions about it. So it sounds like he was relating to Dorit in a way, but Amanda just does not feel like she said anything that was ridiculously judgmental. Eddie then says to her, maybe she's intimidated because you're younger. And then she says, in the most AI robotic voice, because I'm young and successful and I'm not financially dependent on a man, and she outsourced her financial well-being on a man and it didn't go well for her. The way she said it without even blinking took me out. That was too funny. It kind of reminded me of over there at Potomac with Kiarna saying, my condo, my business, my life, my things. Like, just so, like, one single breath, one single key. It was something else. So then we see Bose and Sutton meet up. They go to the park. It's interesting that they're getting along because last season they really did not like each other. That was clear. Sutton is really trying to change with all the other ladies. So Bose says that she is impressed with Sutton. And I'm sure that both of them, critiquing Amanda, bonds them as well because that's precisely what they do in this scene. So Sutton says, oh, well, I can't manifest living forever. Huh? What? Anyway, then Bose says, well, here's the thing about Amanda. She teaches people how to manifest money by taking their money. Okay, is that supposed to be controversial? I mean, yeah, she's providing a service that people pay for. I mean, people on YouTube who have channels and give people advice or tips on making money, saving money, they're getting paid too. Financial advisors, lawyers, I mean, everyone makes money, with what they provide. And if people are willingly signing up for it, well, I can't really have such a big problem with it. I mean, everyone has the right to do whatever they want to spend their money on. So they also begin to talk about Amanda's constant gloating, primarily her bragging all the time about materialistic things, her house, luxury items, and that I do understand how that can be annoying and it could definitely be tacky. I mean, you let things speak for themselves, your things. So yeah, that I do understand their frustration with her on that. Moving on, Kyle, again, she's at the Hamptons. The house is awesome, the one that they're staying at. So she FaceTimes Erika. Erika fills Kyle in on what happened at Amanda's dinner, and mainly how Sutton kind of schooled Amanda on how to navigate this group, essentially. Kyle sympathizes with Amanda. She says to Erika, well, everyone wants to tell Amanda that she needs to have her own opinion, but the moment that she said something about Dorit, that was her opinion, everyone's coming at her. which is true. Kyle's right. Erika also tells Kyle that she and Sutton are going to have a dinner with Denise. And I'm really glad that they're filming with her because I think it's important. A lot has been going on with her that we've been finding out, or we were finding out last year through, the news, through the blogs and magazines and things like that. And we've seen the relationship on this very show, so I like that they're going to film with her. Erika also lets us know that Denise was very supportive when she was going through the Tom stuff, which speaks very highly of Denise because at that point Erika had been really mean to her, especially that season when they had the whole Brandy scandal. So it is then a little later, and Kyle, Rachel, Dorit, Rachel's sister, and some of other Rachel's friends go out. And I have to give it to Rachel and the ladies. They look cool. Like, they look like really cool people, cool ladies. Rachel has been going on about having a hot girl summer. Well, this scene definitely gave that. Dorit was a little awkward when they were all dancing, but they were having lots of fun because, they were doing things that like 20-year-olds do, clubbing and having fun. And Dorit and Kyle are getting along. We know that's not going to last very long, but for now, they're having fun. And then we see a scene with Bose and Lael. That's her daughter. She's 16. It was a nice scene. The summer is almost over, so her daughter is almost going back to school. It's going to be her junior year in high school. And she also talks about the fact that not too long from now, she's going to head to college. So she's excited for that. And then Bose shares with her that, and gives her an update about the egg retrieval not going through as they had hoped, and how the doctor did mention the possibility of having a donor egg, which she's not thrilled about, understandably so. I kind of went into this last week. I get why, ideally she wouldn't want that. So she says that she's going to keep trying and go as far as she can with trying to have success, which it's going to be hard. The odds are definitely against her because she's 50, trying to retrieve eggs at that age, it's going to be hard, but there's always a chance, so wishing her the best. Alright, so then moving on, Erika goes over to Amanda's house. Amanda says that she had preconceived notions about Erika, but oddly enough, she says that every time she speaks to Erika, she likes her more. So that's good. So they're sitting out back, they're talking about Amanda's dinner, and then Erika has advice for Amanda. She says, if you say something, say it right away. Like, own it right away in this group. I've had a hard time in this group because my personal life was so turned upside down, and it's hard to be vulnerable and open, but we want to know about the cults. And then I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming based on what she was saying. So Erika says she wants to know, how did she get in it? How did she get out? And Amanda says, okay, from the beginning? And Erika says, yeah, because I want to go talk to you. I want to go talk about you later behind your back. And Amanda says, okay, well, when I was in high school, I was very involved in my youth group. I was in a very religious community. My family actually wasn't religious, but I liked going to church with my friends and finding more about God, which she says that in itself was not a bad thing. She enjoyed that. But this youth group started in Oklahoma. I guess the youth leader moved from Oklahoma to Florida to start a church. Amanda says that this person wants, and by the way, the people from the youth group moved to Florida. They followed him. And Amanda says that, I guess the pastor essentially, he would control them. Tell them who to marry, who to date, who to be friends with, who not to talk to. And nothing that she said surprised me. This goes on, it really does. These churches do control people emotionally. They take the money. I mean, we talked about this when I was recapping the Mary Cosby TLC documentary. But anyway, she begins to talk, she says that she began to talk to her family at some point. And then on October 31st, 2008, she went to church because they had something going on, but then she drove from the church to her sister's house who lived in Orlando, Florida. So she left. And she says that the pastor did call her. He was angry, almost threatening, but she got out. And listen, religious psychosis, it's real. It's way too common. And I am glad that she got out. I believe in God. I follow the Bible, but I don't do these churches. The indoctrination is too much. All right. So props to Amanda for opening up about that and, talking about her experience. And Erika appreciated it. Alright, so then we head back to the Hamptons, and the girls are having so much fun. Rachel is such a social butterfly. It seems like she knows everybody that lives there. They invited some guys to dinner. Dorit is flirting, which, good for her, although the guy was 40, which is a lot younger than them, but why not? So they're having dinner, and then Rachel says that she just saw a headline about Erika, so she texted her and said, I'm worried about you, are you okay? And the headline read, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne headed to trial over $25 million spent during Tom Girardi marriage. And Rachel says that Erika did respond and said, I'm okay, thank you. Which is definitely a typical Erika response, but Kyle's a little worried because, wow, being sued for $25 million and then you're going to have to pay lawyers? Erika's got a long way to go. Then they talk about what their type of men are, like what their type in men is. Dorit claims she doesn't have a type. She says that it's all about energy. I also think it might be a financial thing for her too, because we know Dorit likes her nice things, so her man's got to afford her. Kyle also mentions that she FaceTimed with Erika earlier today and how Erika filled her in on what happened at Amanda's dinner. And when Dorit hears that Sutton in some way was kind of defending her at this dinner, Dorit says this just shows her more how Sutton is changing and she's liking her even more. Rachel says that she still can't believe that Amanda didn't invite Dorit to the dinner, and then Dorit says, listen, I care more about a nail than I care about her or about that. And then Kyle's like, someone who doesn't care probably would not be saying that. And then Rachel says that they're going to go dance to end the night. Alright, so then moving on, it's another day, it's the final scene of the episode, and it's when Erika and Sutton meet with Denise. And, I've always liked Denise. She says that she got a facelift. And, it never crossed my mind to think about what actually happened or, like, what actually happens or is done when people are getting a facelift. But they're discussing it in this scene. And something about ears being cut off. I wish I didn't know. I'm glad I never had the thought to Google this. Because what? Your ears are cut off? Wow. Crazy. So they order drinks. Denise orders a Mexican Coke, which I love. Sutton is not drinking, so she gets some other type of beverage. And Denise says, I love that you both are getting along now. And Erika says, yeah, it was time. And Sutton says, yeah, we needed understanding. And then Denise said, yeah, and you, Erika, you were going through a lot at that time when you guys had y'all's issues. And Erika says, yeah, and it's still going. She says that she's being sued by Tom's bankruptcy trustees, the personal trustees, and the firm's trustees. She says that this is all in design to break her, to make her go into bankruptcy. I need to do more research on these lawsuits. What exactly it is that they're suing her for. I want to know more about this, because when I just hear about it without too much context, I'm just okay, well, he committed all these crimes, he stole all this money. Yeah, she was benefiting from it. No, we can all agree to that. But for her to be sued for that, that's the part that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, they are legally married, but I don't know. $25 million lawsuit? Wow, I'm going to have to research on that. So they talk about Denise. Erika brings up Denise's black eye. There's a picture of this horrible black eye that Denise has. You can clearly see how strongly she must have been punched. And Erika says, I don't think that was a one-time thing. And Denise says, no, it wasn't. Sutton asks, when did it start? And Denise says it was a while ago. It was a slow type of thing. Her dad recently asked her why didn't she say anything to him, but Denise told him that she couldn't say it and then still stay with him. So Denise talks about how, she had been getting hit. She recalls when she had gone basically a liposuction, and she went to the restroom and he started hitting her in her head. And she just reached a point where she said she couldn't handle anymore. She then says that there was something awful that happened the 4th of July weekend. That's what led her to file a restraining order against him, and now they're getting a divorce. And she says that, honestly, Aaron is making Charlie Sheen look like a saint. Erika says, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you. I'm here for you, and just so you know, I went through this too. Whoa. She said it wasn't with any of her husbands, but she says it was recently. Wow, that was surprising. Erika says that this is the first time she's ever telling anyone, but it happened more than once. Sutton was shocked. I was surprised too, because she said this happened recently after leaving Tom. So that means it must have happened in the last 4 years while she's been on the show. So she said that, yeah, she had to call the police, talk to her family members about it, and that it was tough. So yeah, that was surprising. I was not expecting her to say that. That was the end of the episode. But yeah, I'm really glad that Denise was able to get on here to share her story. And I think it's really brave of her. I feel bad that she had to go through all that. I mean, imagine being so famous and known for being beautiful and popular and still going through that. No one should go through that, but it's, crazy to think that people who have these platforms also go through that. So I think that it's going to resonate with lots of other women who go through that. So sad. I remember when Aaron was on the show, Erika also in this episode mentioned how he had gone off on her and Teddy. And I remember that scene when Teddy was like, "Are you threatening us?" I'm going to be honest, I actually remember that scene, and I actually remember thinking, this is actually a pretty good guy defending his wife. That's what I saw it as. I think the turning point for me when I was like, oh, this guy might be weird or dangerous, was when they were having some sort of lunch or dinner at Kyle's house. He got angry at the group for the way they were coming at his wife, which again, that I understand. But then he said to Denise, "I'm going to crush your hand." I was like, wow, what? The fact that you can say that in public to your wife who didn't do anything to you, it showed his character. So hoping the best for Denise. I'm surprised about Erika. This episode was really real. Like, it was real stories with Denise, with Erika making this very big revelation, with Amanda sharing her side of, or her story about this cult that she was in. It was good. Definitely much more substance we're getting on these episodes now, the second half of the season, than we were at the beginning. So good episode, you guys. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions were. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.